Okay, so last week, as you guys know, I was sick and absent. So I just want to review a couple of pages with you from homework as far as grammar. So go to page 127. I know you guys already read that for part of your homework, but I just want to go over it with you and make sure you understand all that. Um, so this is 127, and then we'll go to our actual page here. So we're talking about the who, which clause, which you guys already know about that. You know, you've been using that for a long time now in your writing. We've been finding it in the grammar book. There are two other words that you can use or that they're going to use in this grammar book for the who, which clause. So now we're adding whom and whose. So it says in this little section right here, use who when the subject of the who clause is who. That's what we normally have. But now you can use whom when the subject of a who clause is not who. We'll look at an example of that in a second. And you can also use whose when the first word of either a who or a which clause functions as an adjective. So look, I'm just going to jump down to the examples here. We already know the who clause. We use that all the time. So this is an example with whose. So it says, Shere Khan circled the wolves whose loyalty he desired. So after that word wolves, this word whose is going to tell more about the wolves. So that becomes an adjective because the wolves is a noun and this is telling more about them. So that's why when you use whose, that becomes, this whole clause becomes an adjective. And it still has a subject verb pair. So I wanted to point that out to you. And it's referring to the wolves as animals. But even when you use a thing like jungle, like this example, the jungle, whose foliage is dense, has lots of rainfall. So you can use whose either way for people, animals, or even things. But this is telling more about the jungle. That makes it an adjective because obviously jungle is a noun. And then down here, it just explains the difference between these two words right here, whose, W-H-O-S-E, and whose with an apostrophe S. Anytime you see that apostrophe in a word like that, it's a contraction. So they just want to show you that they sound the same, whose and whose, but they're spelled differently and they mean different things. So here's two examples of these. Mowgli listened to Akela, whose support comforted him. So the support belonged to Akela. Okay. And that's why that is whose, because we're going to use it as an adjective here. They crossed out who and put whose. And then here it's who is. The wolf who's able to attack Akela will lead the pack. So this is talking about who is able to attack Akela. So that's why that fits there. So they're going to do it wrong on purpose just for you, and you guys have to figure out which way it goes. Yeah, lucky you guys. Um, any questions about that page about the who which clause? Okay. Um, there's a chart here. This is 128. There's a chart here. This might help you if you need when you're writing in your own writing. And basically, it's talking about the subjective subject function as subjective functions as the subject of the sentence. So it can be he, she, it, or who. If it's the object of the sentence, that means it's happening to them. They are the object. Him or whom is what you would use there. And then possessive, if it belongs to them, his and whose, those function as adjectives there. All right, now let's skip over to today's lesson, which is going to be on page 133. Page 133. And we're talking about the that clause today. We already know about that. It's going to be a little bit different today because we're going to learn about an invisible that clause. So, hey, just when you thought you knew all there is to know about English, now there's invisible stuff. So, a that clause is a dependent clause that begins with the word that. We already know that. In week 7, a long time ago, you learned that clause is a dependent clause because it does not express a complete thought. It cannot stand alone as a sentence. That clause is easy to recognize because it begins with the word that. Aquila knew that they would fight him to the death. Okay, we already know how that one's marked. It starts with that all the way to the end. And we've got subject verb pairs here. Notice it's starting with an adverb. I mean, this is a main clause, even though it's short. Aquila knew, that's considered a main clause. There's no comma here if it starts with that. Okay, here's an example of an invisible that. It occurs when the word that is implied. It means it's not really there. You guys remember when we talked about the noun of direct address, and sometimes it's you, but it's not there. It's invisible. It's kind of like that. The that is not there. It's invisible. So it's not stated directly. The word that is invisible, like this one. Aquila knew they would fight him to the death. It still works. It has two subject verb pairs right here. Aquila knew, and they would fight, and appears to have two main clauses. Aquila knew, like this is how you could break it up, period. They would fight him to the death. If you insert a period, the sentences do not make sense. Okay, they would fight him to the death. A main clause must express a complete thought. What did Aquila know? These words must be in the same sentence in order to make sense. Okay, so even they put, this is confusing because they put the brackets there like it is a main clause, but now they're saying it's not. It's not because you have to have the word that. It's implied, basically. So let's look down here. The word that is implied, not stated directly, is not written in the sentence. The second clause is still considered a dependent that clause. You can form this by inserting the word that into the sentence. So here we have Aquila knew that they would fight him to the death. So you're still going to count that as a main clause, it looks like, but you're going to insert that just in your notes. When you go to rewrite it at the bottom of the page, you don't need to put the word that in there. It's just implied. Does that make sense to you guys? It's kind of a weird way to analyze this, but there's two, actually there's just one comma rule. That clauses do not take commas. So don't even worry about commas on these. Here's another example down here. This was the fight Shere Khan wanted to win. So it's implied right here. So you're just going to mark it as a that clause, even if the word that is not there. Just like this. And you have your subject verb pair. I know this is weird. Sometimes grammar is weird. This is one of them. You guys have any questions about this at all? No? Either everybody's like, oh yeah, I got that, no problemo, or nobody's awake yet, which is how I kind of feel at the moment. It's okay. We're going to get through this. This is page 135, our practice page. I'm going to have Kylie go ahead and read it's a long one. Go ahead and read the sentence today.
The wolves do not admit that Shere Khan influenced them. Secret, they had crept into the villages of men whose cattle they had killed.
That's really awkward. The whole thing is awkward. You did great reading it.
Holiday who be ready?
It's like got some major problems here. So the word is vocabulary word is influences, although it's the wrong tense. What should this
Influenced?
Yeah, ed. These are the wrong tense right here. Let's go ahead and just fix that. It should be influenced with an ed. And this should not be do not. What should we change this one to, Kylie, for past tense? That a do not, if it's in the past.
Did not.
There you go, did not. Let's just change those two. And influence just means affected in an important way. So you guys probably all can think of someone in your life who's influenced you maybe in a positive way or even a negative way. It can be either way, but someone who's influenced you has had an impact on you. That's what that means. All right. Well, I know you guys like to do the fix it column. Maybe we could start there, although we don't really know where all the capitals go yet, but obviously this one is going to be a capital. And we're going to have to figure out some commas and periods. There is another usage error though. So Ian, one of these words, I'll tell you, is the word secret. We need to do something with that word in order to make it fit in that sentence. Instead of secret, what should it be?
Uh,
It's telling how they crept around. So whenever you have something that tells how, it's an adverb. So how can we change secret into an adverb?
secretly.
Yes, there you go. Good job. Secretly. Okay, so those are the three usages. We got that taken care of. Let's see, Matt. Let's move on to how about the who, which clause? Do you see where that one's at?
That would be uh, uh who's
Whose, and then where does it end?
killed.
Killed. Good. This is still WW, even though it's not who anymore right here. It's whose. That's okay. It's good. And then I'm going to skip the that clause because that's implied. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's there. Where's the that clause, Aubrey? It's actually there this time. This is for Aubrey.
That Shere Khan influenced them.
Yes, very good. This one is not implied. It's there, but just know that in your homework, it's probably going to have a couple in there that are not there. You have to figure out where it's at. All right, now subject verb pairs. Alex, what about the verbs? And then Kylie, I'll have you do the subjects.
Shere Khan.
We're talking about verbs first, actually.
Okay. Admit,
Yep.
did,
Yep.
influenced,
Yes.
crept,
Yes.
and killed.
And killed. There's a couple of helping verbs with those too. Do you see those?
Had,
Had. Yep.
and the other had.
And the other had. Very good. So we got did, admit, influenced, had crept, had killed. So now, Kylie, what subjects go with those verbs? Who's doing these things?
Wolves,
Good.
Shere Khan,
Good.
they,
Good.
and they.
They and they. Good. All right, now that we got our subject verb pairs, so the main clauses, those do express a complete thought, and those do not include the other clauses that we have here. So look for the main clauses that are not that clauses or who, which clause.
The wolves did not admit.
Yep, that's the first main clause there. Good.
They crept into the villages of
Good.
men.
Yes. All the way to men. Very good. And I'm glad you didn't use secretly because that's the opener there. Speaking of openers, Matt, what are the two? Oh, we got to figure out where the period goes. Do you know where the period goes, Matt? We know we have one
At the
here.
end,
There's
and
another one in here.
take away the comma after them and put a period there.
Yes, very good. That's correct. Good job. So we got the two end marks. Now we know where the periods are. So Aubrey, let's see, what are the two openers here?
A subject opener.
This one's a subject. Very good. And then what's the other one?
And another subject opener.
Starts with secretly, actually, right here after
Oh,
the
LY. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Oh, why? Yeah. Do you know what number that is?
3, I think.
F3. Good. 3, LY. I'm just going to put LY in there. Let's see. What are we missing? Prepositional phrases. Alex, where are those? There's two of them.
Into the villages
Yes.
and of men.
and of men. Very good. Nice. Okay, you guys got that. Capitals. Now we know the first word is capitalized. Now we know secretly also needs to be capitalized. So mark that. And we took out a comma. We have some more comma rules to figure out. So Kylie, what are the other comma rules we need to do?
Take away from admit
Yes, take that one out.
and them.
And then we got that.
Crept
And then take that one out. Yep.
the villages.
Yep. Take that one out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one
And
more
then after men, we added
after men. Yes, because of the who clause. Very good. You got it.
I don't like commas.
I don't either. I'm with you on that, but you did it. So that's good. I think that's everything. Any questions about this practice page? And I'm going to remind you, like I always do, when you go to do your homework, skip the ones you're not sure of, and then try to find the rest of the stuff. And then sometimes it helps you find those that you get stuck on. All right, good job, you guys. That's going to be your homework will be the next 3 pages. All right. You guys wrote about an adventure. Now, I think, wait, hold on. Am I on the right page here? Yeah, a personal adventure. And last week we didn't have class. So I think I just assigned grammar last week, right? Yeah, that's what I did last week because I was absent. Let me check something really quick here.
My brother was playing with poop or something.
That's okay. Yeah, last week it was just grammar. And then I just suggested you fix anything from the past assignments. So looking at what you guys turned in, I do have almost everybody's. I have Alex, and I have Aubrey, and I have Kylie's, and I have Ian's. Matt, I think I looked at yours, but I sent it back, so I saw yours though. So I made a note for you, but I'm looking at it right now. So sorry, guys. Anyway, today I really want to make sure that you fully understand that assignment because pretty much everybody didn't do it exactly right. Some of you got pretty close to doing it exactly right, and I'm going to put some notes on there, hopefully today. I was sick all last week, so I couldn't even really do anything. Anyway, let's look at this together. I'm going to show you, this is what I'm going to start with, actually. I'm going to show you a sample paper. This is from the curriculum, so it's not actually one of my students, but it's a good sample to look at. So I'm going to share this with you, and then we're going to talk about the details of it. You should have done 5 paragraphs on this. The 3 body paragraphs were what you worked on. Hold on, I'm checking my notes here. Did you guys do the introduction and conclusion yet? I'm trying to remember. Let me look. Let's see, this was your last assignment. You were supposed to use the template. Oh yeah, to write the introduction and conclusion about a person you know. Sorry, I said adventure. It's not adventure. It's about a person you know. Sorry about that. I know I'm confusing you guys. I'm confusing myself today. My brain. All right, so your last assignment was this one was just grammar. Got that, okay? Before that, you were supposed to write your body paragraphs about a person you know. Do you guys remember that? Some of you wrote about your mom or your dad or somebody that you know in your life. And you did the body paragraphs, which are the 3 main paragraphs. And then today, we're going to talk about the introduction and conclusion. It says use templates on 143 and 144 of your binder to write the introduction and the conclusion of your paper about a person you know.
We already did that.
So, yeah, so it was supposed to be a 5 paragraph essay. So thank you, Alex. That's right. I am going to show this to you because I really want you to see what it should look like, because some of you are still confused about how it should look. So I just like it one page at a time. How do I change that?
That's a big
View.
paragraph. I mean,
Here we go, single page. This is the way I like to look at it. Okay. So Pudawa is the name of the person who wrote this curriculum. That's his last name. Okay, I know it's a weird name, but that who created IEW, which is the curriculum you guys are using. This person, Savannah, is not one of my students, but this is a sample paper. And I just wanted to show this to you because I want you to see all the details about this paper. Now, I'm going to start like right here where it says Andrew Pudawa had a childhood much like other children in his area. This is the first body paragraph. Remember, for a 5-paragraph essay, the first paragraph is your introduction. The last paragraph is your conclusion, and the 3 in the middle are your body paragraphs. And that's the first part of your assignment that you already did. I know you did introduction and conclusion too, but notice how it says Pudawa and childhood. Those are the Savannah's topic clincher words. In the last sentence, you can see Pudawa's and early life. I want you to also notice up here in the introduction paragraph, she highlighted is very light. It's like a light gray color right here. It says early life. That's because that's the first topic. See how she has here topic A? You don't have to put that in your paper, but you do have to list your topics in sentence form for your introduction. So the next paragraph, I'm just going to go to the next page here. Right here, it says Pudawas and then creating and then IEW. Those are in bold because those are her topic clincher words. Now, if I go back to the introduction, after early life, she mentions IEW. Why did he found IEW? And this is topic B. You don't have to put that, like I said, but you do have to highlight it and show that it's there. And then if I go to the third paragraph, the third body paragraph, it says Pudawa and then colorful personality right here. Those are the topic clinchers for the third body paragraph. When I go back up to the introduction, you'll see that she highlighted for topic C, she put personality. That goes with that third body paragraph talking about his colorful personality. So that's what I wanted to point out to you. So this is how it should read. I'm just going to read it to you. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it a little bit better. Oh, that didn't do much. There we go. That's better. All the homeschool moms love that Andrew Pudawa. That's their attention getter for their first introduction paragraph. The lady that next to me told my mom as they discussed mom topics. It is true. There's her VSS number 6. Anyone who has used IEW is extremely intrigued by Mr. Pudawa. What was his early life like? Why did he found IEW? How does his personality capture students' attention? Endlessly, people have asked questions about this delightful teacher. Until recently, these answers have remained a mystery. While I sit down with Mr. Pudawa, he graciously answered some of our questions. So that is the introduction. See how she has all of her openers here. A 6, a 3, a 2, and a 5. And she's got her dress ups underlined. You can see those. And then she's restated her topics in sentence form. And so basically what the introduction does is tell the reader what the paper is going to be about in the middle. And then she goes into her first topic about his childhood. Andrew Pudawa had a childhood much like her other children in his area. Ian, did you have a question real quick?
Yeah, I just noticed in the introduction paragraph, she didn't do topic clinchers.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. I meant to do that. I'm glad you did. You don't have to on the introduction or the conclusion. And we'll look at the checklist in a
Oh,
minute. It's not there. You'll see in a minute. I'll show you that. But good observation. There's no topic clincher in the introduction. But instead, the topics are highlighted in the middle of the paragraph, which is different than the topic clincher. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and then she goes on, look at all the openers and the underlined dress ups. On April 19th, 1960, Mr. Pudawa was born in Southern California. As a young boy, he enjoyed playing on the beaches and among the rocks. Mr. Pudawa attended a private school, which he immensely enjoyed, and local public schools. While Mr. Pudawa did not love writing as a child, his teachers recall he was an excellent writer. However, the truth was, Mr. Pudawa used the read, copy, and change method. Mr. Pudawa's childhood hobbies reflected his parents' hobbies. He eagerly sailed with his father, entering many competitions, and joyfully learned music with his mother, beginning with violin when he was 4 or 5 years old. Once Mr. Pudawa grew older, he became interested in board games involving war. He even wrote a war game newsletter which he charged his friends $2 for a subscription. Subsequently, one of his first jobs was working at a war game store. He loved it. He was paid to talk to people about what most interested him. Later, he became a teacher, which became his career as a writing teacher. Mr. Pudawa's pleasant early life contributed to his interests later in life. So this is what I'm looking for. All those openers and all those dress ups and your topic clinchers. Now, the topic clinchers have to match your first topic that you mention up here. I wanted you to see that pattern. Okay. Now we're going to go on in the next paragraph. One of the greatest achievements of Mr. Pudawa's life is creating the Institute for Excellence in Writing, IEW, a persuasive Canadian teacher at the school where Mr. Pudawa taught, eagerly told all the teachers of an amazing writing program created by Dr. James B. Webster. Mr. Pudawa took notice. He attended the program taught by Dr. Webster. When he finished the course, Mr. Pudawa agreed it was a fantastic program and decided to return the next year for the same course. After that 12-day class, he knew there was still more to learn. He returned for a third year. Finally, the organization invited him to be on their staff. He served as Dr. Webster's assistant and learned from him. Although Dr. Pudawa founded IEW, it was his teacher who sparked the idea. Mr. Pudawa named the system of the Institute for Excellence in Writing. IEW is named after a time in Mr. Pudawa's life when he worked at the Institute for the Achievement of Human Potential in Philadelphia, which focused on 3 areas of a person's life: the Institute for the Achievement of Physical Excellence, the Institute for the Achievement of Intellectual Excellence, and the Institute for the Achievement of Physiological Excellence. As he chose the name, Mr. Pudawa decided he wanted the same for his program, and it was originally called the Institute for the Achievement of Writing Excellence, but he decided that that was a mouthful. With the help of his wife, he shortened the name to the Institute for Excellence in Writing, which we know and love today. Andrew Pudawa founded IEW to help everyone learn to write well. He's got his topic clinchers right there. And if you go back up to that introduction paragraph, it's right here. Why did he found IEW? So that word found, it almost makes it sound like it should be, why did he find? But when it's a founded thing, it's like when the United States of America was founded, it's that type of a word. So that's why she used found there. Okay, then the next paragraph. Andrew Pudawa is a very fun person with a colorful personality. And that's what it said third on that introduction. It mentions the personality. Mr. Pudawa was always appreciated, has always appreciated humor and loves jokes. Because he wants to brighten his tired students' day, he tells them a joke before class. Students eagerly anticipate his jokes. Andrew Pudawa is a man of many ties. Although he has never precisely counted, he estimates that he owns 50 to 70 ties. He tries to wear a different tie to every class. Family and friends give him ties which remind them of him. In Mr. Pudawa's words, a tie is not only professional, it is also a wearable napkin. Mr. Pudawa has 7 children and 11 grandchildren. Mr. Pudawa owns pets as a child, and his wife believes pets are beneficial for children. Accordingly, Mr. Pudawa and his children now have owned many pets. Now that his children are grown, he happily has no pets, although his wife has been talking about a particular kitten. Mr. Pudawa's favorite color is purple because blue, the color of strength, and red, the color of love, make purple, which is a balance of both. Mr. Pudawa loves East Indian food, and the spicier the better. Andrew Pudawa is a very appealing teacher with a creative personality. Okay, that was all about his personality. That was the third topic mentioned up here in the introduction. Now we're going to go to the conclusion. As Andrew Pudawa experienced a cheerful early life, there's topic A, his interests and personality grew. So she mixed them up a little bit. She did A and then C. That's okay. Ultimately, he founded YEW, which is an amazing writing program. While all of these are interesting points, and I wanted to point this out, the most quintessential, that's a mouthful right there, quintessential. It just means it's another word for influential or significant, something that's like really, really important. The most quintessential aspect about Mr. Pudawa is the impact he has on his students' lives. Because of Mr. Pudawa, we are able to easily write well and feel comfortable in our writing. Thank you, Mr. Pudawa. And like Ian pointed out, this one does not have a topic clincher either, but it does mention each of the 3 topics from the 3 body paragraphs. I feel like she's missing some dress ups though, because I only see which, experienced, and cheerful. Oh, and easily. Okay, maybe she does have them all in here. And then the sentence openers. So that's the pattern for this style of paper. So what I decided to do today was to like talk to you about that example paper and show you that's what I'm looking for. A lot of you did a pretty good job with your paragraphs, but you're missing a bunch of stuff. You're missing your openers, your dress ups, some of you, not all of you. But then especially in that introduction and conclusion, that's where you're missing restating those 3 topics. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go around and ask you guys, think about your paper and the person you wrote about. Think about the body paragraphs and go ahead and get out actually from your binder. That one page that is the introduction and the conclusion template. And get mine out. And before we get too deep in this, does anybody have any questions so far about this format? It's actually really, it's a template. So it's really strict format on how to write these so that it flows. As I read that paper, it's like a really good paper. You can tell he's like an introduction about who he is and a little bit of like attention getter. I see that thumbs up that you gave me. Thank you for that. So no questions though, I don't think, huh? Okay. Actually, let's go to the back here on page 144. This is the introduction side. I'll just start with Ian. Did you get a chance to finish your paper, by the way, all 5 paragraphs, Ian?
Yeah.
You did. Okay. Did you fill this out to help you with your introduction and conclusion?
I think I did.
Do you have it with you?
I'm gonna get it right now.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and get that. How about you, Kylie? Did you get to finish your 5 paragraphs? Okay, good. And did you use this as your introduction and conclusion? Good. Go ahead.
Kind of. So
Kind of.
I remember like the class right before I had already done the top one because I think I told you that I don't like doing them not in order.
Oh, that's fine. As long as you followed this format, like your first sentence should be an attention getter,
Yeah,
and then a background, and then restating your topics. Do you mind if we look at your paragraph together? Is that okay with you?
sure. It's not the best. I couldn't get I did do most of this stuff on it, but I couldn't get all of it on. Like I forgot
That's okay.
topics.
Yeah, don't
This
feel
is
bad though, because actually everybody had a hard time with this, so don't feel bad. It's not just you. Everybody had a hard time. Um, yeah, thanks for letting me share it though, because I think this will help if we look at this one together too. And on
I
yours,
didn't,
go ahead.
I didn't fill out the KWO for the conclusion or the introduction, but I did
Okay.
follow the thing.
You did? Okay, so we'll look at yours in a second too, then, if that's okay with you, because it's going to help for you guys to see other people's papers and know that this is a hard assignment. So if you struggled with it, you're not alone, okay? I want to make sure everybody knows that. And I love that color blue, Kylie, but I can't read those words.
I know. Sorry, it was my mom's favorite color, and I tried to do the
Oh.
other one, and then like I undid it, and at the last paragraph, I figured it out, and now I'm looking at it, and I see there's another blue that I did not want to add in there, and now it looks black.
It does. It looks like you blacked out those words, but I can kind of see it. So I'm looking at your three body paragraphs first, right? So this is the first body paragraph right here, right? Okay. So, and you're talking about the beginning of her life.
Yeah.
So this is like her early childhood. And I want to just jump back up to the introduction. You do have an attention getter. It's pretty good. You might be able to think of something a little bit more like a question or maybe even some random thing about your mom that would draw
My
some.
mom likes chocolate. Just kidding.
Oh, there you go. Well, I love chocolate too.
We all love chocolate.
Yeah, almost everybody. I know a couple people that don't, but um let's see. So you've got my mom, whose name is Jennifer Drucker, is the I think that's best person I know. Okay. So you've got mom and best as your topic clincher. And remember, for your introduction, you really don't need that. So I'm going to take that highlight off here just because it's not in the
I was trying my best to like get all the clinchers in there because I couldn't get like all of them.
I know, and I don't want you to feel bad, okay, Kylie, because I love it. I love your paper. It's not, you're not the only one. Like everybody is struggling with this. So I want you to know I like it. I'm just going to show people with yours what I'm looking for. So I'm just taking off these highlights because you don't need them. You can leave the words, but you don't need to highlight them. And then this is where you start on if you look at the introduction page on 144, you have your attention getter, and then you give a little bit of background. You said she's nice and loving. And you said because of her personality, she is always diligently working hard. And those are really good sentences. And then at some point, you need to introduce those three topics. Your first one is about the beginning of her life. So you said unsurprising
I couldn't put it in. I was trying my best, but I also didn't want to run on sentences. That's what I kept thinking of.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So I think that's what you're missing in your introduction is restating those three topics. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to go back today. I just didn't have time yesterday to go on and fix all the stuff.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just going to send it back to you. No worries. Okay, Kylie, it's okay. I'll just send it back to you and you can even work on it right now while we're talking. In fact, if you guys can pull up your papers during class right now and check it and make sure yours is following this format. And if it's not, I'm okay if you work on it during class, because what I really want to do is focus on fixing this assignment. I'm not going to assign any new writing assignment. That's the good news for you guys. I'm only assigning grammar again this week because I really want you to fix this one. I really want it to be like primo, okay? So what you would do, Kylie, is make a sentence about the beginning of her life, and then I think you have here, if I can see it, life unique, And then what are these words? Oops. College and learn. Okay, so you kind of have like her early life and then maybe
Like
her
uh,
hobbies. You talk about her hobbies here.
I said high school on my thing, but it wasn't high school because I realized it was college.
So you can change that on your notes on that page 144. You can fix that so that when you go back and fix this, it flows. So you'll mention her childhood. You can make a sentence up here in your introduction about her childhood and then about her hobbies. That's what you're talking about in this next paragraph. And then her college life.
I'll make the highlights a little bit lighter too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then for the conclusion, if you guys all, I want everybody to look at page 143 in that paper from your binder about the conclusion. You start with the 3 topics. So you'll need to fix that too. And I'm just gonna see if I can do them all at the same time here. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. So you don't need to highlight anything in here except your 3 topics. So you do need to highlight that. So for you, Kylie, it would be like early life, hobbies, college.
Sure.
Those 3 words inside your introduction and your conclusion. So do you have any questions about that, Kylie? No? Does everybody else understand what I'm doing right now? Does this make sense to you guys? Give me a thumbs up if you're good. Okay. If you have any questions, though, Aubrey, is it clear what we're talking about right now? Okay, good. And Matt, are you good? I want to make sure you're understanding too.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So Ian, I know you turned yours into, are you okay if I look at yours with the class too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Pull yours up real quick. And I have not read these yet, so I haven't graded anybody's yet. I'm going to probably send them all back to you guys so that you can work on them again and make sure you follow that format. So here's Ian's. So you've got you're writing about your dad, which is awesome. And it looks like I'm going to skip the introduction for a second and just go straight to your first body paragraph. And it talks about kind of his background, I think, huh? And his love of music.
Yeah.
Okay. And his elementary school. So this is kind of like his early life, basically, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would mention that up here in the first, I want you to go to that page 144 in your binder and see where it says topic A, topic B, topic C. Topic A, write a sentence about his early life. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your next topic here is when he was 18, he got a job. So his first job maybe was this middle paragraph. I don't know why this got mixed up here. I'm going to fix that Oh, wait. Is that a separate paragraph? Maybe it is. Hold on. I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave a space. There we go. Is that right, Ian?
Think so?
Okay, because this one down here, is this your conclusion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. So you've got his early life, his first job, and his hobbies. Those are your 3 topics, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so up here in the introduction paragraph, you're going to make sure to mention those 3 topics that you have in your body paragraphs in the first paragraph. And your attention getter says, a dad is someone who holds you when you cry, scolds when you break the rules, shines with pride when you succeed, and has faith in you when you fail. Quote, according to an unknown writer. I love that. I really like that attention getter. I think I made a note last time that it kind of made me tear up for a second because it's really good.
Yeah, you did.
So I like that attention getter. And then right after that attention getter is a little bit of a background. You have happily Jason Edward Weaver was born on December 26, 1976. He grew up in Deming, New Mexico. And then you have, that's probably where you need to have your 3 topics listed. You do have, through the years, he has had many exciting careers and many hobbies. Okay, so you mentioned 2 right here. I would highlight this, or let's bold it, because I know you like to bold rather than highlight. And hobbies, those are 2 of your topics. So you got 2 of them. That's good. And then although my dad has lived in 4 different states, he has spent most of his time in California. I guess right here, huh? Grew up. That's your first topic. Maybe you have it here. I see it now, Ian. Do you see how I highlighted that? And you don't need dad highlighted.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know why that's highlighted.
well, that's okay. You might have thought you needed a topic clincher, so that's okay. There. So that's what I'm looking for. Very good. I like that actually. Because you talk about where he grew up, his careers and hobbies, and then you have this is all about where he grew up. This is all about his career. This one's all about his hobbies. And then at the conclusion, we're going to unbold this because you don't need this. Okay, and then unbold this one. There we go. And you do need to bold those 3 topics again. So you have in the 48 years that my dad has lived, he's done a lot of things, lived in a lot of beautiful places, served our family, his community, and his country. He was a very musical kid. My dad is still passionate about music. While my dad has had many jobs over the years, he's also had many enjoyable hobbies. You got that. I'm going to bold it so we can see it. And then hobbies. And then you talked about as a kid. I'm going to highlight kid because that has to do with his early life. So actually, Ian, you've got it here. Okay. I love this. Good job, Ian. And let me talk to you about something. Go, everybody look at page 143 from your binder about the conclusion. I'm going to share my screen really quick. I'm just modeling for you guys what I want, and I want everybody to go back and fix yours so it matches this model. You see where it says most significant and why. We already know you got to restate your 3 topics. That's there. But you also have to mention in your conclusion, what is the most significant thing? So everybody right now, think about the person you wrote about and think about what is the most significant thing that you know about that person. And maybe it's just because it's your mom or your dad, or maybe it's something that they did, or maybe it's something that stands out to you about them. Okay. So I'm going to ask Ian, did you fill out this page yet for the conclusion?
No, I did not.
Okay. So what would you say? I'm going to use yours as an example. So what would you say is the most significant thing about your dad? Like what stands out to you most about your dad?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, you mentioned his hobbies and his career. Maybe about like maybe your dad has a heart to help people or to be involved in the community or to be a positive influence on the people around him. Something like that, maybe.
Uh,
Or I don't know, what stands out in your head about your dad? I know that he's your dad. That's probably number 1. But what's something else that kind of stands out about your dad? Like, what do you admire about your dad? I know I'm putting you on the spot here. That's okay. Think about that for a second. I'm going to ask Kylie that about her mom. What about you, Kylie? Do you have something in mind that's most significant about your mom?
Yeah, I think I put it down.
Oh, okay. In your paper?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, so one of the things that she did was when she was pregnant with me, she had to quit her job that she really wanted to do, like during college. she quit it so that she could have me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you said something like the most significant thing about my mom is the fact that she quit her
Would do
job.
anything for her kids. Yeah.
Yeah, she would do anything for her kids. Good. Okay, so you need to think of something like that, Ian. And then I'm going to talk to Matt and Aubrey and Alex. I don't want to leave you guys out. Um, I know you guys, I think Matt, you wrote about your dad and Alex wrote about your mom. Is that right? Okay. Did you guys come up with something significant to mention in the conclusion? What did you have, Alex, about the most significant thing about your mom?
I have that she worked really hard and helped a lot of people.
Okay, good. So in that paragraph, it should say like this, the most significant thing, or remember that in Pudawa's paper, it was quintessential. So whatever word you want to use, I'm going to put significant, um, aspect or part or thing, whatever you want to use there, aspect about my mom is blank because blank. So I'm telling you guys, you must have the most significant aspect or the most significant thing. You must have those words in your conclusion. This is how you're going to end your paper. It's really important to have something that stands out about the person you wrote about. So Matt, how about you with your dad? What is the most significant aspect or the most significant thing about your dad?
Um, his jobs and his military life, him
Okay.
being in the military, his careers, I'd say.
So that reminds me of somebody who's dedicated, right, to what their
Yeah.
job, dedicated to their job, dedicated to their country. And so you'll mention something like that, but I want you guys all to use this first part of the sentence. The most significant aspect or the most significant, you could say thing or part, any of those types of words here, but you must have the most significant in your paper. Okay. And then the word because. And this should be your final sentence. And I'm just going to put final sentence. This should be how you end it because what it does is basically tell you the best part about the person you wrote about. How about you, Aubrey? I forgot who you wrote about. Did you write about somebody in your family?
I wrote about my grandpa,
Your grandpa. Okay, so what would you say is the most significant aspect or the most significant thing about your grandpa?
that he worked with Firefighters for Christ, so we got to travel around a lot and got to
Okay,
see.
good. Firefighters for Christ, I remember a little bit about your paper, and that is not just fighting fires. So you can mention that at the very end. It's not just about fighting fires, it's about making sure people know who Christ is and make sure that they're saved or they know that God loves them or whatever his mission was in that. And that would be excellent to end your paper on, but you must use these words, the most significant aspect, the most significant thing, the most significant part, the most significant, um, yeah, any one of those words. You might even think of something different. And then because you have to tell why. Okay. So what I'm going to do this week is, did you think of anything yet, Ian, by the way, about your dad? You're still thinking. That's okay. You seem like you might need some coffee this morning.
Yeah.
I feel like I need more. I've had some, but I need more.
Maybe that uh he was in the military.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes, because that takes a lot of sacrifice because he sacrificed his like free time, he sacrificed family time, when he was younger or whatever. So I would say that's a good one, Ian. I would say the most significant thing about my dad is the fact that he served in the military because blank. That should be your final sentence, okay? End it with a pow. And so, like I said, you guys, I'm not assigning anything brand new for writing. You will have your regular grammar work to do, but I'm going to today go through and grade all of your papers and give you feedback. And I'm looking for that pattern. So if you go back and look right now after class and yours is missing some stuff in there, like we talked about, then go ahead and unsubmit it and work on it, because I'm going to tell you to work on it anyway. So you might as well get a head start on it. Okay. I really want to make sure you follow that format of the 5-paragraph model. So any questions for me right now before you guys go? You know what to do. Okay, your grammar's regular grammar. Writing is just going back and looking at that paper you wrote about your person and making sure it follows the format. Oh, let's really quick. I know it's time to go. Hang on, don't leave yet. Look at the checklist with me, please. Checklist. This is page 147. And Ian's question earlier was fantastic. I appreciated that, because if you notice it under body right here at the top with structure, this is where your topic clinchers go. But notice they separated out introduction and conclusion on your checklist. And I can't emphasize this enough, you guys. You must have your checklist with you in front of you as you're working on your papers, because this is how I grade it. It might be a nice paper, but if I don't see any of this stuff, you're still going to get a 0 on it. So you have to have these things in order to get all the points. So anyway, notice that introduction, that's following this page. So make sure you have this with you too, that you took notes on about the introduction and the conclusion. It's right here in your checklist. You don't have to have topic clincher, but you do need to restate. See how it says right here? Okay, let's look at the introduction. Includes attention getter, background information, and states topics, bold or highlight. So you're just going to bold or highlight those 3 topics. It's different than the topic clincher. And then the conclusion restates topics, bold or highlight again. So you must bold or highlight those and indicate most significant and why. Use your checklist. Make sure you have it. And then all these sentence openers and all that stuff. All right, you guys got this. Really make this paper right and good and complete with everything from your checklist. And then we'll do a new writing next week, okay? So good job, you guys. I know I did a lot of talking. You guys are all great students, and I will see you next week. You can take off now.
I thank you.
You're welcome.